I can't fit another weight on this bar. It's loaded to the brim. And here's the thing, this is only a fraction of what the world's strongest squatter can actually do. Brian Carroll literally squatted 1,306 pounds. Today, we're gonna give you 5 tips, no matter your level, to squat more weight. And stick around until the end of the video because Brian's gonna give you a sample 6-week squat program to help you maximize your gains.
Tips to build a squat. Number 1, the most important is the mindset and approach. Treating every single weight the same, but also you have to respect the weight to know that you can have physical harm from lifting weights, but also you have to disrespect the load enough to know that you can conquer it, so it's a balance. You have to have 100% intent and 100% neurological drive, and I'm gonna show you how you do this. Come on over here, Aaron. So instead of just showcasing a little bit of strength, Aaron, squeeze my hand. Here we have, so give me some strength. Instead of that casual approach, some people like to approach the bar with a yell or a bark and stomp the floor and go up. What I like to do is demonstrate the neuromuscular drive by telling them instead of just grabbing my hand, I want them to root the floor, grip the floor, lock down the lats, look through me, wrap the fingers around the thumb, the fingers, and crush through me. That's the same intent I want them to go to the bar. First things first is the mentality, not thinking about the music that's in their ears, no distractions, 100% focus no matter what, almost as if your life depends on it, because I know that when you start lifting world record loads, that if there's any neuron in your brain that's not focused on lifting the load, you're in trouble. Tip number 2 is the setup. So we're gonna get him under the bar here. Want to line up nice and even. Aaron is more of a high bar squatter, so we're gonna lock in. We're gonna white knuckle the bar and squeeze it. We're pulling the lats and the pecs down. See how his rhomboids are brought up here? He's dropping his lats into his back pocket. He's stiffening his obliques. He's corkscrewing his feet into the floor and twisting them until he feels nice and resilient and locked in. And then what we're gonna do is put about 10 to 15% of his effort into the bar to pick it up, and then 2 steps to walk out, 1, 2, a third to even his stance if he needs to. So 2 to 3 steps. Then he's gonna sip his air, sip and hiss his air, stiffen, and then he's gonna work on his descent next. So while he's in this position, he's gonna maintain the neutral spine, his obliques pushed out, stiffen, his lats pulled down. He's gonna break with his hips, and then he's gonna externally rotate his femurs, and he's gonna open up, sit into the hole. And once he's got to his depth, he's gonna maintain all his position and then drive his heels through the floor, pull his lats down, and maintain that neutral spine and work on exploding through the floor. So lats are down, pecs are down, he's opening up, he's spreading the floor. Then to come up, he's gonna drive his heels through the floor and pull his lats down. That's the way you do a squat with perfect form, neutral spine. One more just like that. He's opening up, head and neck are locked in, his lats are down, drive the heels through the floor, and up he goes, and then back in the rack. The 4th tip that I have for you is build a core of iron. And I have go-to exercises for this. That is stir the pot, suitcase carry, bottoms up carry, McGill Big 3. But I'm gonna show you one different that a lot of people mess up, and that's an arched back good morning. So the key here is to work on the hip hinge, not rounding the upper back, the thoracic or the lumbar spine, keeping it locked in and just hinging from the hips. Yep, a slight bend in the knees, driving the heels through the floor to come up, and keeping that spine nice and rigid and neutral. If anything, you might be erring on the side of extension a little bit, but again, we want to avoid any flexion. We want to keep that spine nice and neutral for this special core exercise. And tip number 5 that I have for you is a weak point assistance work for your particular needs to attack your weaknesses, eliminate them, and make them become strengths. So here's the normal stance. We're going to go out a bit wider, a little bit. And so what we're going to focus on now is pausing in the bottom for about 2 seconds. There, that's where you're weak at, and then you explode out of the hole. Boom, again, same thing. You're gonna pause and stay tight, stiff, explode, go. Good, back in the rack, perfect. What we're focusing on here now is called a piston squat, and we're working the range of motion to help him drive through the top of the squat, and this is really quad focused. What we can also do is hold the kettlebell out in front a little bit. That will make it a little bit more anterior dominant, which is gonna work his rectus abdominis a little bit more and work his quads. You can also change the toe angle to focus a little bit more on the hips or the quads as well, and this will really light up the quads. Here we go, working that range of motion. This is the same range of motion that you need to work depending on where you miss at. So it needs to be custom to your needs.
And bonus tip number 6, throw your cushion shoes away. Most shoe companies don't know squat about shoes. You want to get yourself a shoe like this, the first ever wide toe box shoe from Tier that has a good firm base of foundation. You don't want to be squatting in a pair of Hokas that are all cushioned. You're gonna have a ton of energy leakage. Get yourself a shoe that has a firm foundation for your foot to grip the ground. Wide toe box shoe, toes can spread out and provide that firm foundation for your body so you can express the strength you actually have.
Now that we've given you our 5 tips to squat, I wanna go over with you a sample program that you can run for about 6 weeks. Week 1, we keep it very simple. 5x5s work across the board everywhere. 5x5 week 1, and you do your assistance work depending on if you miss out of the hole. You're gonna work pause squats. You miss out of the middle or the top end, you work the piston squats, which you're gonna work the mid-range and the quads a little bit more. So we move on to week 2, we do a 4x4. Assistance work volume goes up a little bit. Then we go to week 3. This is gonna be a deload to help you reset, let you regroove these patterns that you've learned as you've been working our squat program. And we're gonna keep ramping up the assistance work a little bit to build capacity. Then we return week 4, we're beating week 1. So whatever weight we left off there, we wanna beat that in week 4. Assistance work tapers down a little bit because we're gonna ramp it up. Week 5, we're gonna beat week 2, the 4x4. We're gonna go a little bit over what we finished with on week 2. Assistance work starts ramping up a little bit more. Then week 6, we're confident that after you've applied all 5 of our principles and tips that we've given to you, you're gonna come week 6 with a new max.
So now that you know how to squat on 2 legs, make sure you still work your single leg squat. For that, be sure to check out this video on how you can work your progression to get your first pistol squat.